Coffee with the Editor is proudly brought to you by IRZ.
So at last we finally get together. So good to see you. Take us through BBR, where you guys are at the moment, and any plans or future activity.
You would obviously recall that BBR is a concession, and the concession we now halfway through the life of the concession. BBR came about as a cooperation between the private sector and government. It is a triple P, that is a public-private partnership between the Government of Zimbabwe and institutional investors of South African origin, who are the Grindrod Group, Old Mutual, Nedbank. Those are our shareholders in the system, and a company called NLPI, which stands for New Linkable Bridge Projects Investment. And this is the vehicle that brings in together those institutions into the shareholding of BBR. Yes, the Government of Zimbabwe holds a 15% stake through the National Railways of Zimbabwe as an oversight arrangement to the BBR arrangement. So right now we are going towards we've just gone over halfway, and we're going towards the last 10-year tenure of the concession. So we're really in a stage that we can say we've gone past consolidation. Yeah. And I think it's time to make sure that the BBR sweats for the shareholders. So we're really working hard to make sure that the concession sees its life through to the end, which will be around about 2029.
What is the extent of the network that you have concessioned, and what does your tonnage look like?
The concession spans over a distance of about 350 kilometers, which is between Beitbridge and Bulawayo. And that is where we constructed a new link that was meant to shorten the geographical distance, from the ports going up north by about 250 kilometers, so to speak. If you are familiar with the railway network, the line used to go via Rutenga before, and then go up north to Dabuka, which is Beru, then come down back to Bulawayo before it proceeds all the way to the Zimbabwe-Zambia border. But then that line came about to shorten that distance geographically.
Okay.
Yes.
And the kind of commodities you move?
We're moving at the moment bulk commodities like sulfur, going up north, and obviously the related products like sulfuric acid. We're moving fuel. We move things like fertilizer whenever it's season for that. Also grain whenever there's a need for the governments of Zimbabwe or up north Zambia to import. We do move some of that. Going down, there's the products from the mines of the DRC as well as Zambia, copper mostly. It's what moves going out of Zambia. Yeah.
And your fleets, how many locomotives, how many wagons? What does your fleet look like?
We operate with between 8 and 11 locomotives. For us, because really we are part of the north-south corridor, and we are right in the middle of it. We have also those locomotives that we are using. They are 3,000 horsepower type engines, so they're quite big, and I think are quite capable of handling the amount of traffic that we have. Obviously, we also have the local traffic to deal with, the likes of PPC, which is the
made?
raw material, the clinker,
Yeah.
as well as the cement, of course, but mainly the clinker and products such as coal and limestone to feed into their factories. So that's who we service mostly. So we've invested mainly in wagons to deal with that kind of a traffic. In terms of the international traffic, which is the transit traffic from the ports to the north, we mainly utilize TFR wagons, and if it's coming down from Zambia, also from Zambia, because the rule really among the operators is that the originator of the traffic, the originating railway administration, provides the wagons.
Okay.
Yes, so the wagons generally tend to be mostly from South Africa, and also South Africa in the main actually have got the bulk of the supply of wagons in the region. But Zambia also does provide from the north.
In terms of your perspective, the North-South corridor, is it a project that's actually taking place? Is it all put together?
The North-South Corridor project, it's an exciting project. And why it becomes so exciting is that for the first time, the railway administrations that are on that corridor have actually come together to try and put a project that removes bottlenecks on the system. And so much as it is now at the study stage, but that study has brought out certain conclusions that pinpoints where the bottlenecks are, which need to be dealt with. And so the good thing is that now we are tackling it as a team, as opposed to each individual operator doing their own thing. We do just hope that the funding will come forth in terms of the projects that we want to do. At the moment, obviously, we are waiting for the conclusion and completion of all the studies and regarding what sort of funding can be put together and priorities. I think we're at a stage where, as railway administrations, we should be deciding on the priority areas to be attended to. And this is going to be good because, it's not driven from a selfish perspective to say, I want things to function in my country. It's driven from a corridor basis to say, okay, the North-South corridor spans, say, for instance, from the ports of Richards Bay or Durban all the way to the DRC, Kolwezi, and it must be functional.
Yes.
In that respect. So which means whatever solution you bring in, it must be able to generate more traffic for all the operators along that line. So that's a good development. We like that.
Still in feasibility, or the feasibility studies have been done and you're all just waiting for the conclusion?
The feasibilities have been done, right? So now the stage that we are at is like prioritizing projects, and that as well on the back of it is then to find out where the sources of funding is going to come from.
Okay.
Yes.
And those projects will all then be handled by each railway operator in order to build up the corridor?
It depends with the nature of the project, right? Because some projects, obviously, they are specific to an operator.
Yes.
So, but maybe that operator then, this is where the whole issue of structuring of the funding comes into play. Because then the operator is then engaged to say, okay, fine, we need to do X, Y, Z on your line in order for us to be able to run this corridor efficiently. And this is how we propose that it can be done. So structures can be put in place that are workable with the affected or the involved party.
Well, it does sound exciting. I know I've written about it for many years, and I go, where is it actually at?